If you've been using the same emotional words to describe yourself for years, or if you're curious about how language might be trapping you in old versions of yourself, this practice will help you feel into that body wisdom of your words and discover what they're really telling you about your story. Okay, hey, this is Francisca, and this is my mid-crisis life, and today is Chrysalis tools. So, first things first, right? I spoke to my friend about the pigeons. So apparently, right, when a mommy pigeon loves a daddy pigeon and they decide to get married and have some baby pigeons, one pigeon jumps on the back of the other pigeon while that pigeon gives that pigeon a piggyback, and that's how they make babies. But you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of like, where's the hole in that case? Like mid-spine, like maybe like C7 or something. Like, what's going on? It's like, you know, when like boys are like 12 and they've got no concept of what sex is like, and they think that like the hole's just like right here with the belly button, and they just kind of like walk into it. That's what makes me think of that. But anyway, so I didn't know that. Apparently that's how pigeons mate. They give each other piggybacks. Okay, moving on. What have we been talking about this week? So this week we have been talking about the power of language and the power of emotional language, and how language can shape our perception, and how language is like this, I don't know, defining factor of what we perceive ourselves to be, what we perceive our lives to be, and how it's really interesting when we stop and we listen actually to the words that we're using, how it can imprison us or how also it can liberate us, right? But it starts from listening, all right? And how oftentimes when things are kind of bounding around in our heads, it's really important to say these things out loud, because it either frees us or from like whatever it is that we've been thinking that maybe might not be so good, or it gives it validity, basically. All right, what else did I want to speak about? Okay, so today I think there's nothing else. So today for the practice, what I want, or I don't want you guys to do anything, do what you want, right? But to get the best out of it, what I would suggest is that you spend a minute just seeing if an emotion word comes up, right? And if you didn't catch Monday Mindset, I was speaking about the emotional language wheel and how we can have like these kind of really basic emotions, happiness and sadness and angriness, whatever, and anger. But actually coming off of those are more and more and more sophisticated words. And the more sophisticated our language becomes, the more that we're able actually to identify with specificity what it is that we're feeling. So if you watch that and it got you thinking, or you can sit and think now of a word that's coming up for you at the moment in terms of your life, or in terms of, I don't know, your experiences or your relationships or something like that, then do that. If you're struggling to find a word, check out the emotional language wheel. I'm going to put it up right now. What I want you to do is just have a look at that. See if anything jumps out. See if you can choose something that's maybe on that second or that third tier. Don't try to like decide what it is. Just see if there's something that keeps coming back, you keep coming back to, or keeps coming back to you, or caught your attention immediately without you having to think. Yeah. And if something doesn't jump out, I would say start at the inner wheel. See what those base words are. Can you choose something? Can you choose a category and then move out from there? Yeah. Work your way out from there. Before we start today, I want to just invite you, if you've managed to find a word, either something of your own or something on the wheel, or maybe the wheel inspired you to think of your own word or whatever, right? I just want you to take a little minute to meditate on that word. I want you to think a little bit about what does that word mean to you? And what might be really helpful is while you meditate on this word, either out loud or in your head, I would suggest out loud. You don't have to scream or shout it, but just out loud, just repeat that word. Repeat that word over and over. And I think as you do that, it's going to help you to get a real sense of what it does mean to you, of what that word represents to you. And I would say as you do that as well, maybe to have a think about not what the word should mean, i.e., what you feel like the dictionary definition of this word might be, but actually what it means to you, because it may be something completely different, right? So take a minute to think about that. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to see if there is a time in your life, if there are people in your life, if there are places in your life, memories of your life maybe, that word is bringing up for you. Just take a moment and see if there's anything that comes. Something might come really quickly, it might take a little longer, but try not to search. Try to let it come to you. Try to let it emerge out of whatever, the ether, right? And see if something, what comes up. Take a minute. And now, with that word on your mind, in your mind, or on your lips, I'm going to invite you now to just start to close your eyes down. Just let your eyelids fall heavy. Start to relax your face down. And allow your breathing to settle. Just observe your breath. As you breathe in and you breathe out. And I invite you now to just begin to slow your breathing down. And just watch from the very start of that in-breath to the very end of that out-breath. And allow your body to relax. And simply start now, either out loud or in your head, to repeat that word. And as you do, begin just to notice where in the body that word resonates. Maybe the shoulder, maybe the forehead, your lower back. Don't search. Just allow it to emerge. Remember, there's no right or wrong. And the space where that word resonates might surprise you. Go ahead and let it. And just allow some space now to watch that place. What's that word again? Repeat it softly now. And watch that space. Does it have a shape? A feel? A static, a buzzing, a throbbing? Does it have a mood? A color? Is there some physical pain that comes with that word in that space? Maybe a heat, some temperature change. Zoom in to that space now and allow it to zoom out in front of you, like a cinema screen at the drive-in. And as you watch that screen, what do you see? What part of your life does this word, this feeling, this space represent? Just sit and watch for a moment. And remember, you are the observer of life, of your life. And as you watch this scene playing out, this word, this emotion, and its place in your body, in your life, I invite you to decide, is this real? Is this who I am? I invite you to ask, how has this word trapped me into a certain version of myself? Do I wish to be this? Do I have to be this? And now ponder. Is there a word that better describes me in my entirety? And whether you feel satisfied or dissatisfied, give thanks for this new understanding of yourself. Thanks for what you have seen. Thanks for what you have discovered. And thanks for the eternal wisdom that lives inside of you. And let that feeling of thanks grow. Feel it spreading through your heart, out across your chest. Feel it spreading into that space. And with that feeling, you can allow yourself to come back to the room. This new room this new space, these new words inside of you and in your life. And whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Hi. How was that? I wonder how that felt. I wonder if your understanding of that word changed at all, if it became clearer when you were able to associate it with something that happened in your life, if that space in your body feels a little, I don't know, freer, calmer, more restful, or, maybe excited or joyful or whatever. I just hope that whatever the heaviness or whatever that might have been there isn't there anymore. And I'm wondering if you did feel satisfied or dissatisfied at the end of that. I'm wondering if there's a new word that's bouncing around your head that maybe better describes you. I don't know. If you liked it though, by all means, come back and do it again. Why not? Why not indeed? And I think that's it for now. So why don't you come and join me in Reflection Friday? I'm going to be there tomorrow. Trusting that we'll all be able to come together as a community to support one another through these changes. Because if you're showing up every week and you're doing this, then I don't know, you're like building the future and stuff, dude. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, cool. For now, that's it. That word you explored today, it's been living in your body, telling a story about who you think you are. So drop a comment about what you discovered. Did your understanding of the word change? What new word emerged that better describes your entirety? Tomorrow's Reflection Friday brings us together to integrate this week's journey with the power of language.